Hi,
How are you?
I'm great.
Excellent. What are we talking about?
We need to talk about AVVI. We need to talk about coaching. I'm Chris Grimm, and this is. Am I supposed to look in the camera, guys?
You're looking at me.
Oh, I'm looking at you. Oh, okay.
Right here.
Hi, I'm Chris Grimm. Nice
Really?
to meet you. I'm with Karuna Mirchandani, and
Hi.
we are going to talk about AVVI. We're the co-founders of AVVI.me. We need to work on that. We need to get a .com, but that's not what we're talking about today. So what we're talking about is something really important, which is this is not traditional coaching. This ain't your mama's
You
coaching.
got that right. And it's not life coaching either.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So off-camera phantom person, what's our question?
So if this isn't your mama's coaching, first of all, I don't know, what is your mama's coaching? What is this not?
It's a really good
Yeah.
question.
So historically, there's been a few kinds of coaching, right? So we met when I was your executive coach.
Certainly did. I didn't listen to anything you said.
No one does. Many moons ago. Just so anybody who doesn't know, so I've had a consulting firm for 23 years. Makes me feel old to say that.
You are. It's 'cause you are.
Karuna was our customer 2 times.
A couple of times. Yep.
Yeah. And then she recovered, came over to the dark side, and started coaching with us at Aria Consulting. And then somewhere along the line, we decided that we needed to offer something more than corporate.
Yep.
So not your mama's coaching. What is mama's coaching? Well, it's executive coaching, which tends to be corporate and structured. It could be life coaching, your favorite. There's a lot of people who are life coaches.
Yes,
life
there are.
coaches.
There are indeed.
The whole internet is full of them. All different philosophies, all different methodologies.
Yeah.
Do you hear the siren in the background?
Yes.
I think that's
Can
the
hear
universe telling us no more life coaching. 911. There's also business coaching, which tends to be focused specifically on business performance. Of course, there's sports performance coaching,
yeah.
which has bled over into some corporate environments.
For sure.
Which is actually pretty awesome when it's done well.
For anybody watching Billions.
Oh,
She's a
that's
performance
right.
coach.
She's a performance coach,
And
Wendy on Billions.
Yeah.
So we're not doing any of that. So we're going to take the best from that.
Yeah, I think we do take the best of each of those formats. And we're creating something new, right?
Yeah, maybe we should talk about why.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question from the back of the room.
Thank you,
Why-
Phantom off
So those things all
camera
actually
voice.
all sound like great options. So why something new? Like what was missing in your minds?
Well, for me, coaching, from my background, being in the corporate world and being exposed to executive coaching, it was always very structured, right?
Mhm.
And I felt like I couldn't talk about the real things that impacted my life outside of work. It was always, it always rotated around work things. So for me, it was a limitation.
Yeah, I think that is true of most corporate engagements. I mean, if the company's paying,
Agreed.
they want you to do something that's going to help you at work.
But the reality is what happens outside of work, you bring that person, right?
Mhm.
Everything that happens to you outside, you bring to your work. So I think what we are attempting to do is to address the whole person, right?
And by the way, I want to say, because I do think that there are some executive coaches, we know some of them, who aren't afraid to bring holistic.
You are one of them.
I am definitely one of them.
You are definitely one of them. Yeah.
But there are definitely more and more. So I don't want people watching to think that it doesn't happen, because
Fair.
I do believe that over time, what has happened in the coaching industry is that, first of all, a lot of therapists moved into corporate environment and
Right.
became coaches. So that added a whole new kind of depth that can be really great in the right place with the right person. I think that there are some people who were holistic practitioners and did have other modalities and have brought it in. And then I think, to be fair, there are definitely some corporations specifically creative organizations. Here in Los Angeles, we've got all the, the industry that is
The
more
entertainment industry.
open to alternative medicine and wellness,
Yep.
etc. So they're actually probably more open to that. But I think just to set the record straight, I think with AVVI, we're actually trying to go in a little bit of a different direction there, right? Is to
Yeah.
evolve it a bit. We're adding kind of coaching that can be a little less structured, like we're saying, in using the Heroines Journey as the foundation of a lot of our work.
And it's more of I see it more of it being a bespoke experience, right? It's customized, it's tailored a little bit, not a little bit actually.
Yeah, we can go where the people need to go.
Exactly.
I think that, like, let's get to the elephant in the room if there is one. Voice off camera. Do we have an elephant in the room yet?
Well, you just piqued a question in the what the heck is the Heroine's Journey? Was that the elephant you were referring to?
Yeah, I think what's under the Heroine's Journey, not heroine like shoot in your arm, like the heroine, not the hero, right? The female version. That was funny.
We'll put in a laugh track for you.
Thanks. Look, let's just I think the elephant in every room right now is, most women are figuring out how to be more feminine in whatever way that means to them.
Yeah.
Right. The feminine has come to the planet.
Yeah.
Like we're back.
Yeah.
We're back. In a way that traditional structures, they weren't built that way. Right. And I'm not going to get into the argument of, who took it out and why and all that stuff, because we could spend hours
could be here
talking
all
about that.
night.
But we're not experts in that. So we're not actually trying to make men bad or hero's journey bad or any of that, by the way, you guys. Like we love men. We love our corporate practice. We love all of those things.
We love our divine masculine within us.
We do
indeed.
That's exactly right. So I think that's actually maybe a part of this that is unique, right? We're basically saying we're going to help you find the balance.
Yeah. In
your feminine and masculine. And I think for some people, I'm going to speak for a lot of women that we work with, specifically in corporate environments, that has not been a conversation in very many places.
Correct. For sure. I know because I lived it.
Yeah, for sure.
So
like you're one of a
no
1,000,
balance.
one of millions. I don't know how many the numbers are.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. And the imbalance kind of creeps up on you. And you don't realize it until one day you realize, ooh, it's completely lopsided. And I think the coaching that we are attempting to do in this new way is going to address that. Authentically, I feel.
Yeah, that's the important part, right? I think that hopefully people will be with us on the journey, because I think that we're gonna have to invent it as we go, right? The more and more specifically, I want to speak to, women that we work with all day, every day, who are actually in environments every day, whether it's corporate or not, it doesn't matter, but are feeling like, well, wait a minute, I've been playing by this set of rules for a very long time. The success criteria was this.
One thing, right.
I was using mostly what are considered to be masculine energy behaviors, all the action orientation, as right? That
allows you to get shit done.
That allows you to get shit done. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But also to be competitive and to be successful in what we used to call the man's world. Those are not the intuitive feminine energies and behaviors. And now that I think people are more aware of that, I think we need to explore how it all fits together. So hopefully what we're being really clear about, with people, and hopefully we'll learn how to articulate it clearly, because I don't know that we have yet, is that like, what does integration look like?
Yeah. And it's going to be different because everyone is on their own journey, but it's not one size fits all, right? It's a different journey for everybody. And it's not going to look and feel the same for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
So,
maybe we can talk. Were you going to say something off camera, Phantom?
I have a phantom observation. Interestingly, as Chris was saying, you know, we hope to articulate it. We think it'll come to formulation as we're recording this. Is kind of the heroine's journey in action in what you're describing, because the masculine energy would ascribe that it must be complete before we process it, and here we are processing on camera and showcasing that as part of the heroine's journey. And I think that was the process in action. It was kind of beautiful to watch.
Thanks, Phantom.
thank you.
It feels messy though, and that's actually what I wanted to talk a little bit about. Like, I think that I'm going to speak for myself. For a long time, I did not want anything to do with a lot of, this, you're laughing at me because we've talked about it before, that a lot of women's programs for a very long time in my adult life, I looked at and I didn't want anything to do with them because they felt like, first of all, people hug each other,
Hold
that
hands.
there was poetry,
Poetry.
that there was dancing by fires. There was even those women who decorated their vajayjays. Like,
For sure.
there's all of that. And by the way, God love you. Everybody do their thing. That is not what we're doing. But I stayed away from all of that
Right.
because it felt so foreign to me.
Right.
And it wasn't until we started exploring the fact that there were more and more women looking for something different.
Yeah.
But also shared in at least my fear of all of those programs that were out there that felt like a too big of a leap.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not ready for that.
Right.
So whatever is a bridge between where I am, successful in my most masculine behaviors, but knowing that there's something else.
Off, or
Something's off.
Yeah.
There's a different way to do this. There's a whole part of me that I can't bring to work. Do you remember we used to talk about bring yourself to work day?
Yeah. The uniform, the mask, right, that we put on, the shoes, the makeup, all of it. Yeah, you said something I wanted to go back to. You said it felt messy, but I think I think, at least for me, I'll speak from personal place. It is messy. The journey is messy, right? It's not supposed to be. I'm an engineer, so I think very linearly. It's kind of black and white. It's like, oh, this is the map. That's not what my journey has been. It's been messy, and it's the most important part of it is being okay with it being messy and allowing it to unfold the way it needs to unfold.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think that is.
There's no map.
There's definitely no map that is the right one for you. You have to figure it out.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, we're getting ready to do a series of workshops with some partners. And I won't leak everything out right now. No, I can't. But I will say that what is really exciting to me is that we are going to allow women to tell their stories in a way that helps us all figure out what the bridges are, right? Like, what is, where can you step from neat and tidy and type A and getting stuff done and, whatever constructs you have for yourself that were the rules of the way you live and work, into potentially what can feel messy, right? Which could be, digging into failure. It can be being afraid of failure,
examining all of those, right? All of those uncomfortable feelings, emotions, whatever.
Yeah, and I think that hopefully people won't be surprised, but along the way, specifically as we move forward, we are also, you are really leaning into healing modalities. That's your thing. It's not, at this moment in time, it's not mine. Outside of like art therapy, I don't really do what you do. But I do think that we are going to lean heavily that way, because I feel like the more we invite specifically women, but frankly, anyone who's trying to find more of the feminine energy and they want to put it to work. And by the way, that can be a man. I don't want anybody to hear that the body has to be a woman. Like, it doesn't really matter your gender type. If you want to find balance between the masculine and feminine, then you've got to find the modalities that open your body up.
and that work for you. And I think it's important to state that it's a combination of physical, emotional, and spiritual, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the facets. And so it's not only finding balance in the masculine and the feminine,
Mm-hmm.
but it's actually trying to address the physical component, the emotional component, and the spiritual component, because all of that makes it one whole thing. So
yeah, look, I don't want to be remiss either, because I want to, somebody asked me this the other day, and you and I have talked about this a lot, Karuna, because, we talk. I find that when we start working with women who are unhappy, wound tight.
Yeah.
We've been there, by the way, guys. I'm not saying that judgmentally. Not only are they, trying to prove themselves and, doing a lot, projecting stuff into work or whatever, trying to stay busy, trying to achieve things, all the ways we think we have to look and feel to be successful, whatever that means to you, right? For some women, it's their nails. I mean, whatever, everybody has their thing, right? That is it. But I don't want to miss the fact that also on the heroine's journey, you've got to also look at yourself in your relationships and how your happiness with yourself is reflecting out into the way you interact with people, which could be some of the hardest part of this kind of coaching, which I bring that up because I want to be forthright with everyone. Like, that actually is where we probably can marry all different kinds of coaching. Yeah. Frankly. So because our toolkit is deep and wide, and we can say, okay, in this part of the heroine's journey, we know we're going to help you, start to figure out who you are at this stage of your life and who you want to be. But we've also got to look at, how this is reflecting, like, what do your relationships look and feel like? And how is that a projection of who you are, who you think you are, who you think you should be, who you're trying to
show
act
up, and then it impacts everybody around you and the relationships you have. That's a really good point.
That's where it feels like it's not your mama's coaching. You just said but that's kind of bringing it together fully for me. Is like you're tying in the mama's coaching tools that you've learned through your combined half a decade of experience.
Oh,
ouch.
Half a decade.
How much is a decade? 100 years?
Or centennial.
I thought, I heard
a decade
something
is only
else.
10 years. I was like, wait a minute,
So,
what's 100 years?
Combined 4 decades
I heard
of experience.
something else.
I know.
I heard 50 years is what I heard
meant to say.
Combined, and I thought,
we do have 50 years
I
combined.
know, but we don't have to tell people that.
Oh.
But that said,
that
makes the deep and wide pool.
It does.
To pull from your mom's coaching.
It does.
To help with this new structure, or lack thereof structure, to help people kind of create their own journey. Yeah. With AVVI.
Look, maybe we titled this wrong because our moms didn't get coaching.
I was just thinking that.
Let's just be honest. The coaching didn't exist for our moms.
Correct. It did not.
Our moms, who are now in their 70s, 80s, 90s, they didn't have coaching. And people who might be watching this, maybe I could be your mom. So your mom did have coaching, but for a long time that didn't happen. Yeah. I think that what we mean by that, and I just want to punctuate it, is we definitely had a very compartmentalized view of coaching for a very long time. Yeah. And because corporate environments was where mostly coaching was being paid for and used, it was a predominant male, leaders and top of the house male leadership model, which, was competency based, and, it was driven by
different parameters, different success
just
parameters,
a very different time.
Yeah.
A really different time. And that's time's over now. So.
It is. And we're here. We're here to stay.
I feel like it's exciting, and
maybe this
is good. This is the teaser. We got more to come.
Lots more to come. Stay tuned for more.
Next time you guys can meet the Phantom off camera.
Maybe. She's nice.
Maybe prior at AVVI.me.
Yeah.
Join us there.
Sounds good.
Yep. Okay. Well, I hope you join us. We're not going to look at the camera, right? We're going to keep looking at each other.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
I'll talk to you later.